how you can start making money on Poshmark just selling your old clothes. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Valerie. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. From the title, you already know what's going on. I've had so many questions on how I actually sell my clothes on Poshmark. I've been pretty successful at reselling some of my old clothes, so I wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks. If you don't know what Poshmark is, it's a marketplace where you can sell some of your used clothing. So you can sell men's clothes, women's clothes, and I believe baby clothes, but I'm not too sure about the baby. You can also sell some like home stuff and also some beauty items, but it's mostly women's clothing, and I know we all have so many things that we need to sell that's just sitting in our closet right now. Let me tell you, that's free money that you need to be getting. Honestly, selling clothes on Poshmark is not that hard. I feel like people have an idea that it's gonna take a ton of time. Honestly, it does not take a ton of time, and some of my tips and tricks will definitely help you guys out. If you do want to sell your clothes on Poshmark as like a full-time career, you definitely can. There's a lot of people that do. Of course, that's gonna take a ton of time, but if you're just looking to make some extra cash in your pocket, then this is the easiest way to do it. Alright guys, well that's enough chitter chatter, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so my first tip is definitely one of the most important things when you are setting up your closet. It's all about the description. So when you are describing your item, when you put the title, you want to make sure that it's super clear what you're selling. So if it's something from Urban Outfitters, put that in the title. If it's a red crop top from Forever 21, put that in the title. You want to use as many description words as possible, because when people are searching for items on Poshmark, the more description you give, the higher the chances your shop is going to pop up and people will see your items. So you want to make sure that you put in all the description and all the details that you can. So when it comes to size, color, brand, you want to put that all in. And if you're able to measure the item as well, that is huge. I know a lot of people personally ask me for measurements, so I like to measure out the items. Another great way is if you don't want to like measure out your item, you should take a photo of yourself in the item, and you can put like, I'm 5'5", I'm 120 pounds, and this is how the item looks on me. So that way people can kind of be like, oh, okay, like I'm actually 5'4", so it'll fit a little longer on me, or etc, etc. A lot of the times too, if you recently bought your item, the retailer that you bought it from, they will have all the measurements on the website. All you have to do is look up your item, get the measurements from there, and then just put it in the description box. This really only works if you recently bought your item, and that way you don't have to measure it out. Alright, the next tip that I have is definitely one that has caused so much success in me selling a lot of my clothes, and that is sharing people's closets that have similar items and are your same size. When you go onto the app, you're gonna see a share button, and what I like to do is, for example, if I have clothing from Urban Outfitters and it's a bohemian top and it's size extra small, I will literally put that in the search box, and then a bunch of things will come up, and I will just reshare all of those people's listings, because in turn usually people then go and reshare your listing, and they will have the same target audience, because people who are buying off them are going to be like the same size and kind of looking for the same thing. So it's a good idea to share people's closets that have similar items and are the same size as you, because you guys both have the same target audience. I like to do it after I post a bunch of items for sale, and then I go in and I just do that really quickly. I'll share maybe like 30, 40, 50, just depending how much time I have, and 9 times out of 10 that seller that you're sharing from will go into your closet and then start to share a bunch of your items to their audience, and then boom, you'll get a sale. I'm not even kidding you guys, it is honestly the fastest way I've made sales. It's like such an easy thing, but I feel like a lot of people don't think about it that way. So just make sure when you're resharing, people have the same size as you and just similar brands and styles, and also pricing. You want to make sure that their prices are pretty similar to yours, because if they're a lot higher than yours or a lot lower, then it may not be as successful, just because you guys really do have the same customer, so it'll just make it so much easier. Alright guys, my next tip is to price fairly. So this is a big thing that I feel like a lot of people feel like their used clothing are worth a lot more than what they really are. You want to make sure that you price your clothing fairly and not like an outrageous price, because one, people are not going to buy it, and two, people most of the time won't even make you an offer, because it's like, what I would offer this lady is not even like close to what she's trying to sell it for. So I always like to say, when you're pricing, you should do some research and be like, okay, well, how much are Levi's jeans going for right now. See what other people are selling it for and then kind of price that way. And also when you do pick your price, make sure you don't put your bottom line price as the price. You want to make sure it's a little bit higher so that way you have a little bit of wiggle room. So if someone does offer you something, you have room to negotiate, because if you put your bottom line price and someone makes you an offer, you're highly likely going to deny that offer. So you want to make sure that you do have some wiggle room, so that way if someone offers you something that is maybe not what you're selling it for, but it's higher than your bottom line price, you can accept that offer. And also don't forget, the buyer also has to pay for shipping, and shipping I think is like $6.99, so it's pretty expensive. So it's not like they're just getting the item, but they're also paying for shipping too, so just keep that in mind when you are pricing items. So my next tip is to make offers to people who like your items in less than 24 hours after they like your item. This is another huge way that I make a lot of my sales. So when you go onto the Poshmark app, you're gonna see a bunch of clothes on your feed and you can just like it, and most of the time when you like it, you're like, oh, I'll just go back to it. So what I like to do is I like to post my item and then I'll leave it up for maybe like 15 hours and it still hasn't sold, but maybe 20 people like the item. So what you can do is you can make an offer to likers. This is a private offer where you can also give a shipping discount. So you always want to do it within 24 hours, because after 24 hours, people are gonna forget about that item. So you want to make sure it's still fresh in their mind and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I did like that sweater and that's a good price right now, so now I'm gonna buy it. So make sure you always do it within 24 hours, because you'll have a much better chance of selling the item. And also make sure when you do your offer that it's not just like $2 off. You want to make sure it's worth it and it's appealing to whoever you're trying to sell it to, because when they get that push notification on their phone, it's gonna say, oh, it's 10% off, it's 5% off, it's 20% off. You want to make sure it's at least at minimum 15% off. Always like to say 25% off is a nice sweet spot. At very minimum 15% off. Alright, my next tip is to make sure that you are uploading quality photos. This is so important. Items tend to sell better when you are wearing the item yourself or you have it hanging, rather than posting a photo of the item laying on your bed or laying on the floor, because people are able to see it. It looks cleaner, it looks like you care about the item and that you did treat it with love and care. People are more likely to buy it because they're able to see what it kind of looks like. When it's just laying flat, it doesn't look as appealing unless you're doing like a cute little flat lay thing. But I really like it when people hang their items or take a photo of themselves in the item, because I'm able to, one, picture how it looks, and two, it just shows that they really care about the item and they're putting in the effort to sell the item as well. Also, it's super important if there are any imperfections, and it can be the smallest imperfection, like a tiny little hole, a tiny little stain. Make sure you take a photo of it, please. It's super important, because if you put in the description, oh, it has a small little hole, and then you don't provide a photo of that hole, I'm not gonna buy your item. I wanna see how big that hole actually is. I know you may think in your head, oh no, then someone's not gonna buy it. But no, I actually trust you more if you put a photo of it, because then I'm like, oh, I can visually see what the imperfection is and it's not a big deal and that's totally fine and I'll still buy the item. So it's really important that you have high quality photos and also you take photos of every angle and any imperfection. Alright guys, my last tip is to keep updating your closet. Once people start following you, whenever you post an item, it's going to show up in their feed. So you want to make sure that you keep people interested in what you're selling. So if you have 20 items, maybe don't post 20 items in one day, but post 5 one day, 5 the next day, and so on, and break it out. Another great way to keep updating your closet is to visit thrift stores and see what you can flip. If there's an item that you're like, oh, I can buy this Levi's denim jacket for like $5 and I can totally sell it for 20 bucks on Poshmark, do it. Brands like Levi's, Lululemon are always going to sell on Poshmark, so if you see those items at a thrift store, it's a good idea to try and flip them. Alright guys, well that's it for this video. I just wanted to keep it short and sweet and give you guys a few tips on what has really helped me be successful on Poshmark, and I really hope that these tips will help you be successful on Poshmark as well. If you do have a Poshmark, I would love to see your closet, so please leave your handles in the comments so I can check out your closet. I will also leave my handle in the description box if you guys want to see what I'm selling. I definitely need to post more items because I have nothing right now, so I need to do a huge closet clean out, to be honest. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you are new here and you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!